Hey, it's Dustin. Something I notice comes up a lot in studio, in my conversations and others, and in my own life is how do we navigate the tricky and difficult situations, the discomfort and the frustrations, the busyness of our mind and life. And I'd like to share a few tools and a little practice with you that allow you to do just that, to truly lean into the discomfort of these situations and quiet down a busy mind when it happens. So one of the first tips for myself and for everyone that I think is important to remember is to take a deep breath. Anytime that you are in an uncomfortable situation or truly challenged by something, to slow down and to bring your focus inwards and to get out of your head and into felt sensation in your body. So close down your eyes and take a deep breath. Not only does just what I mentioned, but it also does something for your brain. It brings a little more blood flow into the prefrontal cortex. And when something triggers us, makes us recoil or stop, often there's a little contraction. This contraction stops blood from flowing to that part of your brain. So physiology states that you need oxygen there to be able to think clearly, for things to fire quickly. So taking a deep breath not only feels amazing, but it has a huge benefit up top where it matters. Bringing awareness to all the felt sensations in your body. Even if that's discomfort, often we tend to overreact when we feel something. Think about the first time you step outside when it's cold, or you step outside when it's hot. Your first initial reaction is usually a recoil, a surprise. And then after a little bit, you can kind of assess exactly how things are. Often when discomfort arises, this is something we can do. Pause, take a breath, truly notice what we're feeling, and it's often not as bad as we think. Our minds will often try and trick us into believing that we're not capable of what we truly are. And so much more is often left in our gas tank when we think that we are completely done. And in my training of jiu-jitsu, this is shown to me daily. My mind always tells me that I can't. And sometimes you just got to put that to the side, take a deep breath, go forward, and see what you can accomplish. After some breathing and some true assessment of what's happening in those moments, you should have a little more clarity. And with this clarity and with practice of doing this, you start to create this gap between how you react or respond. And usually you'll start to notice if there is no gap, if there is no breath, there isn't a conscious moment in between what happens and you simply react instead of respond, often our reactions are a little bit harsh or sometimes aggressive when they need to be something else. So by truly slowing down, softening, taking a breath and assessing, choosing to respond instead of react is a huge tip in simply living a better life and interacting with people in a more non-violent and clear way in your life. So to be responsible, to choose your response instead of blindly reacting. When it comes down to actually dealing with anxiety, your breath, giving yourself breath work and tools, but then sometimes even with these tips and tools, your mind still runs. And as you continue to practice, you're like, this used to work for me, but I feel now I do those things that used to help and now I'm still having thoughts. I'm doing my meditation and I'm doing my breath work, and all the while as I'm doing it, thoughts still present themselves in my mind. So this is super common and it happens to everyone, especially as you start to meditate more and work through different layers of stress and fatigue. As that starts to unravel and release through you, we can have these different experiences. So I think it's really helpful to have a tool like a meditation practice, but then layers upon that. And a nice way to think about this is traps for your awareness or your attention. Essentially, that's what we're doing when we practice yoga. We're bringing our attention and focus onto one specific point, our breath, but then outside, there's all these different factors. There's alignment of the pose, what the teacher's asking you to do, movement in between. So you're trying to bring all of your focus to your breath while moving. When we take the movement out of it and simply are sitting and breathing, sometimes we need more traps for attention. So at first, it might just be your breath is enough. Then it's your breath and mantra. And then there might be layers to your mantra to continue to provide layers for your experience so it continues to stay effective. So those are things that have really helped me in my own life. Daily meditation practice is a non-negotiable for me, and I just noticed that allows me to tap into that state within where I'm not chasing thoughts, I'm not actively doing, I'm simply being. And tapping into that state of being for me is incredibly grounding, therapeutic, and reminds me that my thoughts don't always need to be attached to and listened to. Let's practice together. If you're walking, I recommend having a seat on a bench. If you're driving, if it's cool, pull over. And if not, you can also practice while walking. Just keep your eyes open and be aware. Wherever you're at, take a moment to ground into your seat if you're sitting. Send some energy through your spine to the crown of your head. Without changing your breath, close down your eyes and bring your awareness to it. Is it quite high up by your collarbones or chest, or is it already descending deep into your belly? No right or wrong, no judgment, just assessing and noticing what you feel. Let's take a clearing breath together. First, inhale through your nose, balloon your belly. Pause, then fill your ribs and chest. Hold, keep your posture. Hold. Open your mouth, make a sound, a vibration, a sigh. Let's do 2 more. Balloon your belly, inhale through your nose. Fill your ribs and chest. Hold your breath. Hold as long as you're comfortable, but if it's okay, hold for 3, 2, on 1, an audible sigh out through your mouth. It should feel good. Let's do 1 more. Through your nose, fill your belly. Fill your ribs and chest. Hold. An open mouth sigh. Find an easy, smooth breath in through your nose. Smooth exhale out through your nose. Try not to pause at the bottom of your exhale or at the top of your inhale. A smooth, silky breath in. Smooth, more refined breath out. For the next few moments, I want you to continue to refine your breath. We call this a pure breath. If your mind wanders, that's okay. It's an innocent thing to forget what you're doing. Simply come back to your breath. Continue to refine. Notice if there's any rough edges, hesitations, pauses, and eliminate them completely. Let your breath be a continuous cycle that doesn't stop. Visualize it in this way as a microcosmic orbit. As your inhale moves from your base to the crown of your head as you fill up, no pause. As you exhale, it cascades down the front of your body back to your base. Feel your expansion. Continue to cycle with your visualization. Let's take 10 breaths in this way together. Continue to refine. last breath. Take a moment and let your breath simply be in its natural state. With your awareness within, notice and feel what you feel. Just like we can look out onto the water, out at the ocean or big body of water, and just by looking at the water's surface, know what the wind is doing. Our breath is a true reflection of what's happening on the inside. And anytime you can slow down and refine, you'll notice that is reflected in your mind and nervous system. Thank you for taking some time out to share your time, your energy with me. Hope to see you again soon.